In 1957, on a freezing February day, a young boy was found inside a cardboard box on the outskirts of Philadelphia. No one knew his name. No one came forward to claim him. And for decades, America asked the same haunting question. Who was the boy in the box? What followed became one of the most heartbreaking mysteries in American history. A case that uncovered corruption, silence, and secrets that refused to stay buried. On February 25, 1957, a college student checking animal traps made a discovery he would never forget. A small cardboard box, ordinary and remarkable. But inside lay the body of a boy estimated to be between 3 and 7 years old, carefully wrapped in a blanket, his hair cut short recently. Too recently. There were no identifying clothes, no toys, no notes, just a child, alone. But the mystery deepened almost immediately, because this wasn't the first time someone saw the box. Multiple people admitted, after the discovery, that they had seen the box earlier, but each gave the same chilling reason for not reporting it. Fear. Fear of being questioned. Fear of being involved. Fear of what they might be accused of. That fear cost investigators precious time, hours, maybe days. And in those early hours, any detail, a vehicle, a footprint, a stranger, could have changed everything. The police believed the case would be solved quickly. After all, how could a child simply vanish without anyone reporting him missing? But as investigators searched through hundreds of missing child reports, portraits, and nationwide bulletins, nothing matched. Completely clean slate, no missing child, no family searching, no photographs resembling him. It was as if the boy had been erased from the world long before he was ever found. One of the earliest and most persistent theories centered around a foster home located just a short distance from where the boy was found. The family living there had taken in many children over the years. Investigators noticed something unsettling. The blankets used in that home were nearly identical to the one found with the child. A bassinet sold by the same supplier as the cardboard box had also been purchased by the family. For a moment, the case seemed on the verge of breaking, but the evidence was circumstantial, and despite intense questioning, the family denied knowing the boy. Without a confession, investigators were stuck. The foster home theory faded, but it never truly disappeared. As weeks turned into months, the case grew colder. Newspapers began calling the boy America's unknown child. Desperate for leads, investigators tried something unusual. They consulted a psychic. She led them to a house she claimed held answers. And strangely, the house he pointed to was the foster home investigators already suspected. But again, nothing concrete, no document, no witness, no confession. The trail went cold once more. 40 years later, a new theory emerged. A woman known only as M claimed she knew exactly who the boy was. She said her mother had purchased the boy, yes, purchased, from another family. According to her story, the boy was abused, neglected, and eventually killed in a moment of anger, and said she and her mother cleaned him up, cut his hair, wrapped him in a blanket, and left him in the woods. Her story was dark, horrifying, detailed, but investigators couldn't verify key facts, no records, no proof he ever lived with that family, and due to M's mental health struggles, some believed she was blending truth with imagination. Her story was never confirmed, but some parts of her statements still haunt investigators to this day. After decades of frustration, a breakthrough finally came, not from eyewitnesses, not from confessions, but from technology that didn't exist in 1957, DNA genealogy. More than 65 years after the discovery, Investigators traced his DNA to a family line in Philadelphia. For the first time in history, America's unknown child had a name. After all those decades, he was no longer a mystery. He was no longer anonymous. He was finally recognized as a child who deserved to be remembered, not forgotten. The breakthrough gave him identity, but not justice, because the biggest questions remain unanswered. Who hurt him? Why was he never reported missing? And how many people knew the truth but stayed silent? The boy in the box was alone for decades, but his story refuses to fade because it forces us to confront a painful truth. Some children disappear not because they are taken, but because the world chooses not to look for them. So I'll leave you with this question. How many more stories like his remain unsolved? Because someone somewhere chose silence over truth. And more importantly, what do we owe to children who cannot speak for themselves?